It's time to get your geek on with Dave Gramillion.
Ah, yes. Here we are once again, everybody. It is time to get your geek on. I am Dave Gramillion. Welcome here, welcome here, welcome here. As always, my partner in crime here is the Grand Poobah, the master of funk himself, Peter.
Woohoo! Hold your applause.
Manning the booth, back from his, let's just call it a small adventure. We'll get into that here. Goose is back. Yay!
Yay!
Unfortunately. All right, but
I got something to say about that joke.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get into that here.
No, it's not. It's not Star Trek. I promise.
You promise?
I promise. It's not
okay.
Star
All right.
Trek.
You promise. All right.
But your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Tell that joke.
Okie dokie then. We are here on the only AM talk radio show in the entire United States that speaks geek. We will talk Star Wars. We will talk Star Trek, DC, Marvel, video gaming. In fact, tonight is going to be very big on video gaming. Lots of news to talk about there. Something very interesting is happening in the world of esports. And not a lot of people are talking about it. It's kind of under the radar, but I want to bring everyone's attention to it. This is going to be some interesting news. Geek is now mainstream. Geek is very much in. I found out a while ago that ESPN has its own esports division. That is how mainstream we have gotten now. Geek is now, it's not what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is big. Geek is here. Geek is everywhere.
Geek is chic.
And Geek is now here on 930 AM The Answer and 930amtheanswer.com. If you're listening to us on the radio, we appreciate that. If you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, we appreciate that. If you're listening to us on the wonderment that is the website via live streaming at 930amtheanswer.com, thank you. If you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can also find at 930amtheanswer.com. We appreciate that as well. And, of course, big kudos and shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/GYGO official. If you're listening to us, I guess, via Twitter at GYGO official or GYGO _official. Check us out there as well. We are everywhere. We are slowly spreading our geeky tentacles across the empire. I love it.
Ew.
This is episode number 15, and tonight, Goose...
Are you sure about that?
It is.
It's not 16.
No, this is 15.
Okay.
Because last week was 14.
No, the week before that was 14.
It was 14?
This is 16.
This is 16. I'm throwing away my notes now. That's it. We're done.
I couldn't correct you last week because I wasn't here.
16. And tonight we're going to talk... Goose is going to fill us in on where he was last week. If you missed it, I had... no idea where he was. We had a substitute in who filled in very admirably, but yeah.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciated it, man.
Big time. Love and hugs and thanks and all that good stuff. I got some Marvel news that we're going to talk about, including a villain that backed out. Well, rather, the actor backed out of Spider-Man Homecoming. And we're going to be talking about that. Also coming up, the Luke Cage series on Netflix is getting some serious reviews. We're going to talk about that. There's some Star Wars news, including Rogue One Force Friday thing. It's not really a Force Friday, but we'll talk about that as well. Including what discounts you can get and what discounts you can still get for all your Star Wars lovin's. And as promised, some big-time video game news regarding esports. And, of course, I also want to talk a little bit about No Man's Sky. They're in more trouble than initially we thought. But... first, got to go down the checklist to make sure that I have everything that I need in order to do a successful and efficient show. First, do I have something to drink? This week, I do. Last week, not so much.
No styrofoam in the studio today.
No, this time, we're going bottle today. Not that bottle. Facebook Live, you know what I'm drinking, but it's not. No, people on the radio are like, "What's he drinking? Where can I get some?"
It's a cola drink.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely not the 50th anniversary golden ale, which I found actually at Specs. That was kind of cool for Star Trek. Got to have a back scratcher. I use this during the show when necessary to get that one spot that you just got to get without making it too awkward. And of course, if you're going to do a geeky radio talk show, if you're going to do any type, I mean, I've seen podcasts and I've been a guest on them before, and it's a lot of fun.
You saw podcasts?
Yes, I did.
Wow!
Because I saw myself in the mirror when I was doing a podcast. But you got to have a lightsaber here with you. And I have Old Blue beside me. Been hanging around since 2014. Thank you, Old Blue. Alrighty, so now I have everything that I need to get the show up and running. So let's get the show up and running. Goose,
Yes.
where in George Lucas's name were you last week?
Okay, so this is a very interesting story.
Inquiring minds went to
Yeah. So as you know, on Monday,
Tell us the story, Uncle Goose.
I posted up on this Get Your Geek On official Facebook page in the Sarlacc Pit post, which comes live every Monday, that I wanted to throw in the Austin Taco Makers because, they thought they could beat San Antonio in a taco war.
No.
And Goosette and I were in Austin on Wednesday, and because we took some time off. But I had planned to come do the show because that's how much I love you guys. Well, you guys, them, I don't know. But so I was talking with somebody from Other Worlds Austin and just talking about the show and what we want to do with it, how we want to grow. And some of the taco makers overheard me.
Uh-oh.
And they looked at the post and recognized my face.
Oh, God.
And next thing I know, I'm in a dark warehouse tied up. I'm dead serious.
Did it smell like picante?
A little bit.
A little bit?
They let Goosette go home, but they said don't say anything to anybody. So that's why she didn't call anybody. And they made me eat Austin tacos
Oh, no!
until I recanted, and I ate a lot of tacos.
God, they're almost as bad as Dallas tacos.
So we're listening to the show Saturday night because they thought it would be torture for me to listen and not be a part of it. And it was, because I love this show.
Woohoo!
And so we get to the point where Kelly throws me into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
Now, little known fact, because I produced this show, I'm immune till midnight.
That's true. People may not be aware, but there is an immunity within the studio.
Yes. So midnight rolls around, and I'm in the Sarlacc pit, and I come to find out that not only am I there, but those Austin taco makers joined me because I threw them in.
Yeah.
And the entire state of Alabama was in there, too.
That's true. We threw in the entire state of Alabama last week.
Couldn't do Bama fans. Just, you had to throw in the entire state.
The whole state, top to bottom.
So I have been thrown into the Sarlacc pit so many times that I know how to get out. By the way, my wife and my bank account say, quit throwing me in. I go in looking dapper, as I do.
Of course.
I come out looking like I was Bruce Banner after a Hulk change.
Well, you were being slowly digested over 1,000 years.
So I had to throw the great part is, with me being in there with a whole bunch of people, I didn't have to be faster than the fluids. I just had to be faster than them.
Which, considering it's people from Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Austin taco makers that survived ratted me out that I was the producer of the show that threw in the entire state.
Oh.
So they made it up to me to get the entire state back to Alabama. And I need to get you that bus receipt because it was not cheap.
Yeah, we'll expense it. We'll
Yes.
definitely expense it.
Hope you have a very big ladder.
I am back, which is great. I love being back. I love doing the show. And, I had to go buy new clothes because of you again for like the 5th or 6th time. So please stop. And
I'll consider it.
And if I'm going to talk, and I learned a valuable lesson, if I'm going to talk about foodstuffs, don't visit the town for a while.
That's true. So, all right. So we need to, this cannot stand. I'm sorry. This is an attack from Austin of all places. So this cannot stand. We'll have to look into some type of retaliation, retribution at some point.
By the way, if you ever find yourself in a dire situation like that, and you enjoy buying your comic books and enjoy having them to read, make sure you have a subscription at your local comic book shop because you can go pick them up later, when you get the entire state of Alabama back to Alabama, and read and be prepared in case they come up during the show. So make sure you have a subscription if you like comics. I'm a big fan of the DC Rebirth event. Make sure you go to your local comic book store and ask them to hold your titles for you.
Okay, so we'll have to look into some type of retribution against Austin later. This is an affront. We cannot do this. I cannot have my lackey attacked. That's just
That's your job.
yeah, exactly. Come on.
But Peter didn't get attacked.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, he's the new guy. We just haze him. We don't attack him yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So, speaking of the Facebook page, on there we had 2 giveaways. Now, I was able to waltz myself into a Walmart here in San Antonio, and I walked out.
I want that security video.
Yes, because
you waltzing
I
in.
actually waltzed in. I didn't waltz out. I sashayed out. I didn't waltz. Now, I was able to waltz in there, and I walked out with 3 Rogue One figures and 2 18-inch Jyn Erso figures.
Really?
What?
Yes.
Where are they?
Well, as a matter of fact, we gave them all away.
No.
Yes.
Did you get yours?
No.
I wanted to give something back to the people, especially since I wasn't supposed to have them. I was a little worried that Disney agents would, come, beating down my door since
sure the door's locked.
since I still had the evidence.
The great part is you could see them from miles away because they've got ears.
But a bump.
Plus, they probably also, they're singing "It's a Small World," and that would be torturous in and of itself. But I wanted to give something back to the people, back to the listeners, and so we had ourselves a giveaway. Actually, we had 2 giveaways. I gave away the Jyn Erso figures. They went really fast. I only had those for 24 hours, and then I gave out some Rogue One smaller figures as well.
But I wanted one of those.
Well,
I'm sorry, but regulars of Get Your Geek On are not eligible. Trust me, I've asked many times.
Darn it.
But I wanted to point out that we do
You can check out the podcast for all the times I've asked, by the way.
we do giveaways, and I love giving stuff back. I always have, I always will, because without listeners like y'all, we wouldn't be here. There's just no way. So I like giving stuff back. So if you keep an eye on the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GYGOofficial, just keep an eye out for more giveaways, because I'm going to have more as things wear on here. So just keep an eye out there. Okay, I want to preview real quick what our master calendar has up there. Right now it's blank for September. But coming October, we are going to have Alamo Comic-Con, Alamo City
continuing
Comic-Con
in
month.
October.
Oh, yeah. That's right, because the calendar rolled over
September
already.
doesn't have 31
We ought to
days,
just
Dave.
get rid of it.
It only has 30.
Whap!
I'll still be here next week, I promise.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so coming up October, we have a slate full of guests. These are confirmed. They're locked in. They're good to go. We will have Tim Rose the first week, which I get technically next week. We'll have Tim Rose, who played Admiral Akbar, Salacious Crumbs, Size Noodles. He's a great Carrie Fisher story. I hope he tells. I really do, because it's an awesome story. The second guest that we have coming up will be Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Power Ranger. Woo-hoo. That'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll have Power Ranger! There we go. And then we'll have to wrap things up. Almost wrap things up. Will be Jeremy Bullock, the man who played Boba Fett. And also that one Imperial officer, also in Empire Strikes Back, where he gets to, he's actually.
I have one request.
No, we can't get Amy Jo Johnson to fly down here just for this, to be in studio just for you. It won't work that
Okay,
way.
I have then 2 requests, but you just nixed the first one. Can I introduce her?
We'll take that under advisement. In fact, you know what? Let's ask people in the chat here, since we do this live with Facebook, facebook.com/GYGOofficial. Tell me, people in the chat, if you think Goose or I should be doing the introduction for Amy Jo Johnson.
You can interview Tim. You can intro Tim Rose. You can introduce Bullock.
Well, you're kind of stumbling over yourself there, man. This has got a little rattled.
That's what Amy Jo does to me.
Although it'd be really cool if she were in studio and brought her guitar with her. That'd be awesome.
It'd be really cool if she was in studio and wore a Pink Power Ranger outfit.
Yeah,
Can
but
we arrange that?
This starts being like a weird kind of fan fiction gone wrong sort of a thing. Let's
It's called cosplay,
Let's
sir.
keep it to what we have.
It's called cosplay.
And then we'll have Jeremy Bullock on afterwards. And then to wrap things up, we're
the
going to
night
try to
of
get,
Comic-Con.
Yes, indeed. The preview night event will be...
Turn your phone off, sir.
What is that? Oh, man.
Watching the live stream here. So I'm trying.
Keep your volume down.
Down, boy. Stop that. We will have cosplayers that we will be interviewing to talk about the Alamo City Comic-Con, to talk about what it's like in the cosplay world, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the
I'll be here too. Yes, I will.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they'll be here in studio for that one. So that'll take care. We have Scott Messner who's saying, me. He wants to introduce Amy Jo Johnson.
Scott, you're not part of the show. You don't have a microphone.
For Amy Jo Johnson, he may drive down for that one.
All the way from what's left of Alabama.
Well, no, that's
just the people,
Oh.
not the
Yeah.
just the people of the
Oh,
state.
okay. No problem.
He hates Bama that much.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll do a poll here, and we'll kind of keep an eye on it to see who is going to introduce
Goose
Amy
2016.
Jo Johnson. Yeah, whatever. Team Goose.
Team Goose, yes, Team Goose.
Whatever. Duck.
I'll play it if you keep it up.
Okay, all right. All right, well, I'll tell you what we are going to play, and that's going to be our Marvel News theme segment because we got some Marvel news to talk about.
This is that sequel to the smash hit with no equal. This one's for the true fans with Hulk hands and action figures. Flying, dining, saving you all in the city. Got masks on and weapons out. You won't like the whole easy.
I love that one. Okay, so let's talk Spider-Man Homecoming. What an appropriate title, considering that Spider-Man has finally come back to where he should have been this whole time.
To be fair, Marvel Studios didn't exist in 2001.
Yeah, in 2001, but finally, after the Amazing Spider-Man, it just wasn't all that amazing. Now he is back home where he should be.
Was
with
he
Marvel.
spectacular?
No, not really.
Sensational?
No.
Superior?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
He was Peter Parker, though, right?
Yes, he
Okay.
was.
That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah, they got a Brit to do him too. That was interesting. But okay, so now we have Spider-Man: Homecoming, and UFC champion Tyron Woodley was linked to the movie in a villainous role, but he admits that he left the movie. He's gone. He's out. He's done. He admits that he was cast in the movie. In fact, the way he mentioned it was on Twitter, saying that he was in Atlanta doing a certain Marvel picture. He didn't mention Spider-Man by name, but people already knew that they were shooting it in Atlanta. So, it didn't take a lot for people to put two and two together and come up with, oh my God, he's in Spider-Man. Which means that Marvel and Disney legal team came down on him like a ton of bricks.
Singing It's a Small World with mouse hats on.
Singing A Small World with mouse hats on, absolutely. They, wow, you probably shouldn't have said anything there. I'm going to have to break your legs now. Wow. Yeah, that probably didn't go so well for him. So, in fact, he said, quote...
Or for the audience after that.
Oh, shut up. Quote, when you're working on a Marvel movie, their legal department do not play. They got word of it, and their legal department started coming down on me.
He is a master of the English language.
Absolutely. Man, that's... good stuff right there. That is Lincoln-esque. Love it. He says, quote, I did not do it because I had a previous obligation with Fox, and I thought it was a better play long term. I'm a man of my word, so unfortunately I was going to play a villain in the movie, and I thought that I would end up fighting Spider-Man.
Hold on. He had a previous obligation with Fox.
Yes.
But he said he was cast.
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Unless he thought the thing with Fox would fall through, and it didn't. And he's kind of hedging his bets there. He didn't want to be... If someone told him maybe it was going south, and then all of a sudden, if someone injected some life into it, well, you can't go back on it. So, of course, there's no word yet as to what the project with Fox is. So, we don't know exactly what happened there.
It was an X-Men movie.
Well,
they're still going to do the 90s.
X-Men 12. Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. I just went back to maybe he'll end up being Morph or something. I don't know.
Look, when they got to First Class Forward, those movies were good.
That's true. But I don't know. I was thinking back to the 90s X-Men cartoon.
They made that a comic.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did. I'm sorry. That Morph death scene. I mean, right there in the pilot too, man. I mean, that's wow. It kind of sets the tone for the series there. Okay, anyway, so he thought he was going to end up playing a villain who would fight Spider-Man. So we already know that Michael Keaton is in. Michael Keaton will play the Vulture.
I'm Vulture.
The movie.
What is that with him and flying people?
I don't know. He just did.
Or people with animals with wings.
What is going on outside the window there? Speaking of flying things.
It's not vultures, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not even close. It looks like...
What the hell?
I don't know.
It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
It's kind of freaky. Kind of freaky there. Okay, anyway. Everyone on the radio is a little confused now. Like, what?
Well, so are the people on Facebook because they can't.
Well, yeah, because they can't see it. Only we can see it. Yeah, that's freaky looking.
I'll
All right,
post a picture later.
So Michael Keaton is the Vulture. The movie has to make room for Iron Man, so Robert Downey Jr. will be in it.
Yeah, also has to make room for Aunt May.
Marissa Tomei is Aunt May. I swear to God, it's like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button with the Spider-Man movies.
I'm getting old enough where Aunt May's cute to me. That's not good.
No, that's not.
You and half the audience when they saw that was like, hey.
Yeah,
Aunt
God, when
May.
you saw her in Civil War, it was like, whoa.
I remember
okay.
Aunt May looking that great.
I remember Robert Downey Jr. even made the comment in the movie. He was like, "What did he say? Your curiously attractive aunt, or something like that." And every guy in the audience is like, "Yeah." My cousin Vinny loved her in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that was
Oscar award-winning actress.
Yes,
For my
indeed.
cousin Vinny. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I don't know
still
how.
a great
I don't know-
movie.
don't
Come
know how
on.
that- it's a great movie, but come on, Academy Award worthy, really? Okay. All right. Anyway, there are rumors about the Shocker showing up also. Which all
that
right.
could have been Tyrone.
It could have been
because when he was told he was off, it came as a shock.
But I'm bummed.
Hey-oh! And that's the last we hear from Goose.
Don't believe it.
Don't believe. Oh, wow. Okay. Some other Marvel news I want to talk about here also is that Doctor Strange, the movie.
No, the character.
Well, I'm getting to that. The movie will have the final Rogue One trailer in it, which comes out first week in November, just prior to Election Day. Thank God. So we'll have something
Right
to get
after
our minds off
Comic-Con.
the election for a couple hours.
Right after Comic-Con.
That's right. Yeah, right after the Comic-Con. It's Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch has also confirmed that the Doctor Strange character will be one of the 60 characters to be in the Infinity War movie.
How can we tell? There's 60 people.
There will be 6. Think about this.
Guy with big red cape.
There were
That's not
12
DC.
characters. 12 characters in Civil War. There will be 5 times as many in the Infinity War movies. 5 times as many. Holy cow. And Benedict Eggs Cumberbund will be one of them. Eggs Benedict Cumberbund.
Hey,
Benedict
leave
Cumberbund.
Sherlock alone.
I know. He was pretty good in Sherlock.
He is pretty good in
I
Sherlock.
agree with that one. That was, yeah. And last little bit of Marvel news here because we're coming up on the break. The Luke Cage series is getting some seriously good reviews.
It must be a Marvel series on Netflix.
It has to be. But people are even saying it's better than Jessica Jones and it's better than Daredevil.
Wow. That's saying a lot.
In fact, the USA Today has said that it is the best Marvel series. Saying, quote, he's the superhero that the world seems to need the most right now, mainly because he's the most real. And that's a theme that I read among the people who were reviewing this. The LA Times said, like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage is a show that puts the human in superhuman.
Netflix shows do that generally. They tend to be more street level, gritty,
Down to earth.
You
know, the everyman, so to speak. And so this one really gets into the atmosphere, really plays up to that role, and Luke Cage is really just rocking it. I mean, people are loving this series. They really, really are. Now, I haven't seen it, to be honest. I haven't seen...
I don't think it's out yet, is it?
No, it hits this week.
Well, the
I think it
critics-
hit Friday.
Yeah.
I thought it
Was
hit
it-
September 30th.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Hit
so I
yesterday.
hadn't seen the pilot yet, but apparently, like some of these reviewers have already seen like 4 or 5 episodes or something like that, and so they could get good reviews out there. And start
I
building
want
buzz.
to be a reviewer. If you would like your Netflix Marvel series reviewed on Get Your Geek On, please email me.
Uh-oh.
Please.
Looks like we're having problems with the live feed. All right, well, we'll reset here after the break. Speaking of which, coming up after the break, we have some Star Wars news that we want to talk about, including Rogue One's equivalent of Force Friday, and a lot of video game news I want to touch on, too. If you play video games of any kind, you're going to want to listen to the news that we're going to talk about here coming up after the break.
Oh, and I don't think you covered this one. Lego Dimensions is getting expanded. They're doing a lot of expansions. There's going to be an A-Team expansion with the van and BA.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll pull it up for you during the break.
Sweet. All right, so we'll do that. We'll cover that during the bottom of the hour news break. I want to just talk about real quick about everything that we're doing here because this is now our 16th show, and we've got a slate full of guests coming up in the month of
gonna be
October.
fun.
It's going to be a whirlwind. Dude, that whole month is just going to be just one heavy hitting show after the next. It's going to be awesome.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday night, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And I want to make sure to mention also that we bring the latest news to y'all. We bring the absolute latest, and I love this because people will talk about like next week things
the
that
way,
we talk about.
What website do you go to get that information?
Well, as a matter of fact, I get my news from mygeeksnews.com. Mygeeksnews.com brings you only the latest non-clickbait. That's the key, non-clickbait news. It refreshes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. So you want to make sure that you check out mygeeksnews.com. I do, and so should you. But it's kind of funny how people will talk about the news we talk about here like 4 or 5 days later, like, oh my God, this is breaking. And it's, no, dude, we heard about this. Yeah, we already talked about this. Where you been? So that's why you want to be here, to get the latest news, the latest talk, and also to see Goose, because everyone loves the Goose. That's just, it is how it is. All right, so coming up after the break, don't forget, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here right after the news here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer and 930amtheanswer.com. Thank you for joining us right there after the bottom of the hour news break. If you missed the earlier part of the show, don't worry. You can always catch the podcast at 930amtheanswer.com. We talked some Marvel news, including why Tyron Woodley, who was supposed to play a villain in Spider-Man Homecoming, had to back out. Ugh. But now we are going to move on to a segment that everybody seems to like here, and that is, of course, it's the franchise that's taken the planet by storm for like the third time. It did it in the 70s and 80s, then it did it again at the turn of the century, and it's doing it again. Let's talk some Star Wars news.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Okay, so in 2015, when The Force Awakens was set to, blow box office records apart, they had Force Friday, which was a midnight release of all the first wave of the Force Awakens action figures, Lego toys, lightsabers.
Everything under the sun.
Everything under the sun you can imagine. That was released at midnight. And they're doing the same thing again, although this time they're not calling it Force Friday. It's just a midnight release. And that happened on Friday.
Rogue Friday.
Rogue Friday. What do they call it? Hashtag Go Rogue or something like that. I think I saw them on the Disney blog. So, all right, so they had that. Well, I was able to get my hands on some figures just a little early, like a week early. And it turns out a lot of other people did as well. Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all the social media were filled with people posting pictures of themselves with certain figures that they had acquired from Walmart, Targets, wherever. And they were Rogue One, even though they weren't supposed to have them yet. The leaks were all over the place. Now, when Force Awakens did this, they were really locked down. I tried to get my hands. They had displayed some T-shirts, but they wouldn't ring up at the register. I tried getting some action figures that they had put out, wouldn't ring up at the register.
Well, you know what they call employees who let customers buy stuff that they shouldn't buy yet, right?
Former employees.
Rebels.
I rebel. Yeah,
exactly.
That's about right. Okay, so the leaks were everywhere, including with me. But on top of the figures and the Legos and everything else that's coming out, the Disney blog announced exclusive merchandise that can be found only at the Disney parks. Not even at the Disney store. It's only inside the parks, including.
Do you have to have that app to go find it?
God, I hope not. What was that? What did it say?
It's
It was
like
a $500 app or? Oh God, no! Please, no.
That's what's in the box at the end of that game.
So you can get exclusive merchandise for him, for her. You can get hoodies. You can get pins. You can get iPhone covers. You can get all sorts of things, but only at the parks, at Disneyland and Disney World. Now, they didn't say if they were doing a midnight release in the park. They did that for Force Awakens, but they didn't say. So
if they didn't say, assume not.
I would assume not. Although sometimes the parks stay open until midnight anyway, if it's that magic hour, extra magic hour, whatever it is. But regardless, it is what it is. I mean, you can always stop by if they kick you out of the park. I mean, what are you going to do? You just leave. But you've been to the happiest place on earth, so you'll be happy about it.
I've never been.
Neither have I.
Y'all have never been to Disney?
Nope.
Either park?
Nope.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you two?
I was lower middle class.
Oh,
I wasn't even in.
My mom was a teacher. My dad was a state trooper. I had poverty in stereo.
Okay.
I was in Dirtwater, Del Rio, Texas. So,
that's true. Yeah.
So you just had mono poverty.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on an Air Force base, so yeah. So
yeah, y'all need
had
to go.
A tree
in 2012, I went with my wife. We were full-grown adults, didn't have any kids or anything. Hey,
Dude,
that's my ringtone.
That's twice today.
No, that's my ringtone.
Oh, that's your ringtone?
I
Yeah.
turned mine off. So.
Wow. I didn't know my phone could ring while I was doing the show. That's rather interesting.
Are we sure we're still live?
Yeah, we look live. I've got the live stream here.
Okay.
Well, whoever's calling me, please stop calling me.
What are they calling you?
I've
got a week's worth of stuff.
I still have other things I can throw at you. So, goodness. Okay, so also included, GameStop is offering some big discounts. Oh yeah, like I was saying. So I went in 2012 as adults, no kids, just me and my wife. Had a blast. Went for a full week, just a blast.
Now, Peter, the interesting thing about that, he can still get into the kid rides.
But I'm Poe.
Now I am throwing something at you. I have things here. I have all sorts of things I can throw at you. I'm going to throw R2.
No, not R2.
R2's next. Oh, goodness.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So GameStop is also offering some big discounts, including Star Wars Battlefront will be on sale for $20.
Ooh.
It'll actually be cheaper on Amazon. Not much cheaper. We're talking like a couple of bucks.
But I can get it today. Or tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going on right now. You can get it for $20 now.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, well...
Because they're closed now.
Well, yeah, GameStop, obviously. Yeah, that's true. But you can order on Amazon right now.
Yeah, and I have to wait till Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, that's true, at the earliest. GameStop exclusive pop vinyl figures will cost $12. A Rogue One Stormtrooper helmet will go for $80. And a Rogue One ceramic coaster set will run you $20. And they're going to have lightsabers as well and that sort of thing. They're really getting their Star Wars on. GameStop is branching out.
Nice.
Lego The Force Awakens will also be discounted to $40 until October the 2nd.
Which is tomorrow.
Well, yeah, tomorrow, but, you know.
So get it tomorrow. Be there when they open.
Yeah, but people listening to the podcast will think that it's, like tomorrow. They don't know which tomorrow it is.
Tomorrow.
No, that's not. No, we're not doing
No, we're not doing that.
No, we're not. No.
Do that again, Peter. I dare you.
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah. No, because your mic's off. Oh, goodness. All right. So with that being said, and with no mic for Peter, let's go ahead and start talking some video game news here, shall we?
Hey, man.
Oh, goodness. Every time I keep thinking of Annie, I keep thinking of Anakin Skywalker being called Annie, little orphan Annie, and I'm just like, really?
Thanks a lot, Sand People, for that.
Really? Thank you, George, for that. Terror of the galaxy, great Jedi Knight, cunning warrior, best star pilot in the galaxy, and his name's Annie.
Not if you're watching Robot Chicken.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Then it's Little Orphan Annie.
But
yeah, but come on. Even Natalie Portman called him Annie.
No wonder he
Annie.
went to the dark side.
Yeah, boy, no kidding.
With a name like Count Dooku, you either have to go to the dark side or become a Dragon Ball Z character.
Yeah.
His midi-chlorian count would be over 9,000. Okay. All right, so this segment brought to you by a new sponsor of ours, Laser Legends.
Ooh, nice.
Laser Legends is a great little shop that I've been up to a couple of times now. Up on the north side, it's Lookout Road and 1604. It's actually past Rolling Oaks Mall. You keep going toward I-35.
So you want to make sure to look out for it.
Yes, you want to look out for it. Thank you, Goose. Wow, man. Did you just eat like a bucket of sugar before
Understand,
you
I wasn't here last week, and I was being held by, taco makers. I've got a lot pent up in me.
Boy, no kidding.
That aren't just tacos.
So Laser Legends has a great laser tag arena. It also has Glow Golf, which is blacklight golf, and also has quite the impressive array of video arcades, including pinball machine. I love pinball machines. And they've got a nice Star Trek one up there also.
Is it the next generation one?
No, it's the Chris.
No.
It's the what one?
Do it, Goose.
The what one?
Do it.
It's the J.J. Abrams one. So you want to check them out, go over to Laser Legends. One of the coolest things they have a display case where, you earn enough tickets and you can buy stuff. They have all sorts of models. So
you can spend $50 to get a $10 toy.
Yeah, but you know what they also have up there?
What's that?
An actual cosmonaut helmet.
Ooh.
An actual, it was used for
How many
training
tickets
purposes.
does that cost?
Over 9,000. I actually didn't look that closely. I was too busy ogling over the fact that they have a cosmonaut helmet right there available. It's impressive. It's most impressive. It really is. I'm not doing a bit. It's incredible. So you want to head over to Laser Legends and check them out and tell them you heard about it right here on Get Your Geek On. Okay, so
where is it located again?
It is 1604 and Lookout Road, which is east of Rolling Oaks Mall, but not quite to I-35.
And do you have their hours by chance?
Yeah, actually, I'll post it on the Facebook page.
Great.
I'll post it there, facebook.com/GYGO official. Okay, so this has been kind of interesting. Okay, so there are sports teams, esports teams. You have like Team Liquid, and you have Coup, and you have all sorts of different teams.
Team Valor.
That fight for no. I'm talking about actual esports teams, not that. Just no. And and they play League of Legends, and they play Dota, and they play all sorts of online games, usually for fantastic prizes. This has been kind of interesting.
Is it a pinball machine?
I'm getting to it. You could probably buy several pinball machines with what they win. So.
What kind of pinball machine?
Let me get to the news.
Should we start doing Pinball Wizard by The Who?
Oh, goodness. All right, so.
No, we can't.
Darn it.
I don't want that back scratcher thrown at me again.
And I'm too close. So.
You mind? I'm trying to run a professional show here. Gracious, we only have so much time here in an hour.
15 minutes.
Oh, goodness. All right, so get this. 3 NBA franchises have purchased an esports team in the past week and a half. The 76ers acquired, of course, I'm gonna butcher some of these.
Now, where could they first have found that news?
Well, they could have first found it at mygeeksnews.com because, of course, it's right here.
And then?
On our podcast.
On the Facebook page?
On the Facebook page.
And how about
Twitter.
What's the Facebook page address?
I feel like I'm being lectured to.
I'm trying to get you to engage in social media, sir.
Well, we are engaging. Look at all the listeners we have.
Facebook.com/GYGO official, then at Twitter.com/GYGO official. You need to start pipping that stuff.
I'm getting to that. I want to talk about the news first, if you don't mind. All right. So the 76ers, the Philadelphia 76ers acquired Dignitas. The Golden State Warriors acquired Team Liquid, who's actually really good, and the Memphis Grizzlies acquired the Immortals. Now, I've never heard of
Were they born to being kings?
I've never heard of a sports franchise buying another franchise before. This is kind of untrod ground, but it kind of makes me wonder what's going on here. It's not like just on a whim these guys decide to go out and buy esports teams. This is, because you have negotiations and you have deals and blah, 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 and you got to involve all sorts of lawyers. This is not something on a whim that, the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies wakes up and says, well, Golden State and the 76ers bought something. I might as well buy something too. There's something going on. This is going to lead to something big.
It's called money, sir.
Yes, and I'm going to get that also. And it's kind of interesting. First of all, I don't think this is over. I think there's going to be more than these 3 teams that'll be bought. But I find it interesting, first, that 3 NBA teams have bought these esports teams. It's not like the Dallas Cowboys bought, although the Cowboys are rich enough they could buy like 8 teams.
Could they buy talent?
I don't see the Montreal Canadiens buying a team. So it's very interesting that the NBA is doing it, and I also find it interesting that it happened this quickly. All 3 of these teams were bought within a week of each other, in the same week. So it makes me think that maybe some type of organized league is going to be coming. Now, they already play for League of Legends, and they already play Dota for big cash prizes, but I think something is coming. This is organizing into something big. I think there are going to be a lot more teams going to be bought in the near future, and I think it's going to lead to something monumentously big. I think they're going to redesign the way esports are going to be played entirely. So, with that being said, let's talk about esports itself. The revenue for esports this year will hit almost $500 million.
What? No way.
And keep in mind, this is. Let me define esports. This is people who sit down and play League of Legends, and people pay to watch them play. So you are paying to watch someone play a video game in a competitive fashion. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, it sounds kind of geeky, which fits in pretty well here. But
sorry. That's kind of what we're going for here.
I've seen some of these matches, and they're intense. They're competitive. And some of them are a lot of fun to watch.
You think they'd be better indoors?
Yeah. So it'll hit $500 million this year, which is up 51.7% from last year. And by 2019, they're estimated to hit $1.12 billion in revenue, which is a third the size of the NHL. Esports will be a third the size of the NHL in revenue.
That's not a high bar, though.
Well, when you consider the major sports franchises that are out there, the major sports leagues.
I look at how many NHL teams are in Texas, and I think there's one.
Yeah, because it's Texas.
Yeah, and we have 3 basketball teams. We have
it's
2
Texas.
football teams.
Because it's Texas.
Because we're awesome, and
Well, yeah, of
hockey's
course.
not.
So, to give you an idea, I mean, that's 1/3 the size of the NHL in revenue for esports. Think about it. Think about what they have to pay out, what the NHL has to pay out. Stadiums, concessions, they've got contracts. They have to pay their players. They've got to pay security personnel, and they've got to pay the ushers and parking attendants, and they've got to pay this and that, and equipment, and Zambonis, and they got to pay for the ice, and blah, 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 blah. They got to pay all that. What do esports have to pay for? New graphics cards? Training, I guess, practices, but I mean, that's it. There's no overhead for these guys.
So, kids, now you have your excuse to play video games all day long.
Actually, here's your excuse coming up. ESPN does have its own esports division. They have their own writers, they have their own panelists, they have their own commentators. It's like
I want that job.
I mean, you
Are
can
they
go.
hiring?
As a matter of fact, I actually applied for their director position and didn't get anywhere. But they, I mean, it's you can go to their website right now, ESPN.com, and you'll see NFL, MLB, NBA, and if you look down far enough, it'll say esports, and it reads just like the rest of their website. So ESPN's buying into it. The House of Mouse wants it to be legit. And now let's talk about the good stuff. Now let's talk about why everybody wants to get in on this racket. The Evil Geniuses team has won a combined total of $8.9 million in prize money.
I'm in the wrong business.
$8.9 million in prize money.
Dude.
Yeah, and 4 players. They're actually not on the Evil Geniuses team, but 4 different players have won a total of $1.7 million playing video games in tournaments.
That's a Keanu Reeves. Whoa.
I know, it's
Excellent.
wow. Okay, that was now this is also interesting. Dota, which is Defense of the Ancients, has dished out a combined $31 million to players in prizes in their tournaments. League of Legends, which is insanely popular, dished out another $7.6 million. So all told, that's in those 2 games, that's almost $40 million in prizes, in prize money given to players.
Why am I here?
Yeah, I mean, this is insane.
If you would like to sponsor me so I could play video games all day long and win you lots of money,
I played a League of Legends. I wasn't that
Let me know.
good, but no, I was really good on like the beginner part. Man, I owned the beginner stage. That was awesome. Man, I was killer.
how much money did you make doing it?
Yeah, none.
Yeah, loser.
Yeah. Hey, at least I played. Wannabe. Oh,
I produce your show.
yeah, I'm gonna start.
Be nice to me.
I'm gonna start calling Austin, ask him to take you back. In 2015, a record 334 million viewers tuned in to the live streams over a 4-week period, with an average of 4.2 million tuned in at the same time. For the sake of comparison, it was only 288 million last year. So 334 million more people watched the finals in 2015 than watched the NBA or NBA finals or the MLB World Series.
Well, it was, Golden State and LeBron. And
Yeah, it was Golden State's repeat or LeBron brings a championship to Cleveland. I mean, that was high drama, and they got good ratings. So
for the Spurs fans, we didn't care.
The NBA season ended when the Spurs were gone.
Yep.
I don't care what anybody
we're going to start
says.
talking about Tim Duncan next, and I don't want to do that. So let's just move on here. That's with 4.2 million concurrents was the average. 14 million people tuned in for the total between the final of SKT and the Coup Tigers simultaneously. 360 million hours worth of live coverage was viewed over the course of a month, which was up from 194 million.
That just shows you that the economy is totally wrecked.
Yeah, this just in, people. Esports is not going anywhere. Esports is huge. Esports is
Look at the size of that
huge.
thing.
It is. It's massively huge. It's Death Star size huge.
That's
and
no
it's getting
moon.
bigger.
It's a space station.
It's an esports team.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
Okay, and insert other reference here. Ant-Man when he grew up really big, and okay, all right. So wow, I'm still geeking out over this. This team won $9 million in prize money. Holy cow! 4 players have won $1.7 million for playing a video game in tournaments. It's fantastic.
Now you got to ask yourselves: did they have horrible parents or really awesome parents? Because there is no middle ground there.
The things that make you go,
Because they let their kids play video games all the time.
That's true.
So
That's
they're
true.
either horrible or awesome. There is no middle ground.
Or they're just the Wunderkinds. They just sit down and play, and they're just really awesome at it. All right.
To my fiance, when we get around to having kids, they're playing some video games.
Hey, you just keep your power glove away from her.
All right, now, speaking of video games, No Man's Sky, which I have played and I kind of enjoyed, but was horribly oversold and now has less than 1,000 users playing on Steam. Less than 1,000 people playing it on Steam. Is now under investigation. The UK ASA, which is an independent regulator, has now formally launched an investigation into No Man's Sky for false advertising. For those of y'all who don't know, No Man's Sky, when it released its gameplay trailer at E3 in, I believe it was 2014 or 15, looked fantastic. It was awesome. You had these giant dinosaurs, and you had these breathtaking landscapes. And then the gameplay itself came out, and people were like, what? In fact, there is, I'll put this up on the Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGOofficial. There's a famous video. You look up No Man's Sky Jurassic Park. Just look that up on YouTube. No Man's Sky Jurassic Park. And just try not to laugh too hard. You're going to have to trust me on this. I can't describe it over the radio, but I will put it up on the Facebook page so y'all can look at that also. Which also the Facebook page is linked to our Twitter account, which is at GYGO_official, so you can check that out as well. The complaints are in regards to the trailers, screenshots, and general information from the Steam store page of No Man's Sky with regards to them being misleading and misrepresenting the actual game. In other words, they were sold this bill of goods as being terrifically awesome, really a sight to see. You got to play this game. Look how fantastic it is, and they got a steaming pile of crap.
Was it Pong or something or what?
No,
Oh, okay.
it wasn't. Picture, let's say somebody tells you that you get to buy this Maserati, and it's fantastic, and its engine purrs, and it goes 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, does the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs, and it looks fantastic, and it's sleek, and it's gorgeous, and you actually get up there, and it's
A Pinto.
It's a Pinto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's still a car. It'll still go on the highway. Yeah,
Not very far.
I just think what Cybok told them in Star Trek V.
What does God need with the starship?
No, that they were actually going to go see God, and it wasn't God.
That's an excellent analogy involving a very crappy movie that I tried very
And a
hard
very crappy game.
to push out of my mind.
I think I saw that like once, and that was enough.
Currently, that is the only one I don't own on DVD.
Not for a very good
The
reason.
only reason I would own it on Blu-ray is because it comes with the 6-movie pack.
Yeah, that's
Use it
true.
as a coaster?
Maybe.
You really don't have much of a choice. If you're going to buy the Blu-ray pack, you kind of have to.
Buy one, get one free that you really don't want.
I did buy the Next Generation pack.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, there you go.
That's better.
And it's got his favorite Next Gen movie of all time.
I hate Insurrection. It's a god-awful movie.
I was talking about
It's-
First Contact. Why are you getting all puffy?
Yeah, whatever. Insurrection was a horrible movie from top to bottom, inside and out. It was awful. It was terrible. It was not good. In fact, there weren't a lot of really good moments in all the Next Generation movies combined.
You need to be quiet now.
Seriously. Nemesis.
My finger's on the button.
Tell me the good part of Nemesis.
The credits.
Seeing the crew one last time.
Seeing them like 85 years old? Yeah, that was awesome.
That was just Picard.
Oh, come on. Did you see Marina Sirtis? Come on
Yes,
now.
I did.
Okay.
And I happen to like Marina Sirtis.
Who doesn't like Marina
Yeah,
Sirtis?
Exactly.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, goodness. All right. So, want to give a special shout out once again to Laser Legends. They're our new sponsor. Want to thank them for coming on board here with us. I look forward to heading out there myself, so you may see me out there. Don't forget also to check out our website, mygeeksnews.com. It is clickbait free, It is updated constantly. It's updating even now, so
As
you will
we speak.
So you will have the latest news guaranteed when you go to mygeeks.
Okay, so we got about a minute left. I think it's time
Is it
that
time?
we need to travel.
We're traveling.
You know where we're at?
Where we at?
We're time traveling.
What's going on?
Yes.
We just got to the Sarlacc pit.
What's that?
It's this disgusting, horrible creature that's worse than anything you could ever imagine.
Goose, who are you throwing in?
I'm throwing in the writer of Steve Rogers' Captain America #5.
Which, if you read the issue, then you know why.
You know why, and there's no way Steve comes back from it.
Put it in. I'm going to throw in Austin Taco Makers for taking Goose. I mean, come on, Austin. It's bad. It's bad enough that you're Austin, but you got to take Goose.
2 weeks in a row, suckers.
Put him in. Peter?
Yes, the people over there, like at H-E-B or Target or Walmart, who, when you're out there in the parking lot, it's 5 feet to push the cart back where it's there with the rest of the carts.
The cart return.
The cart return. That's all you got. I mean, it's 5 steps. It's not rocket science, people.
Yeah, but God, it's like 5 steps, and then you got to walk around a car.
It's not
and
that
it's just-
difficult.
it's terrible. And all right, so put him in. There we go. There's the music. Bam. All right, so what we'll do is we'll get to everyone's suggestions also on the Facebook page. We'll get to y'all next week. Don't forget also, next week is Tim Rose.
Woo!
In that-
Yay!
All right, that'll be good fun. Tim Rose, Amy Jo Johnson, Jeremy Bullock, in that order coming up in October. We're going to call it Geektober. Billy Ross came up with the suggestion there, and we're going to take it and run with it. Geektober.
Geektober.
It's on.
By the way, Team Goose for Amy Jo Johnson.
All righty, so don't forget to check us out, 930amtheanswer.com for our podcast. Stay geeky and get your geek on every single day.